Myrie. Yep, today we got another one. I know I talked about this character a few times, right? But he's still active. He got a platform, and his name is the one and only Adam 22, No Jumper. That's the main subject of this episode. Like I said, subscribe, um, like, comment, all that good stuff. Well, the title is Adam 22, the Hip Hop Police. I'll be using that phrase a lot because there is a lot of hip hop police. Adam 22, like I said, has a popular platform for a couple years, right? He's a millionaire. He got more than one platform. He got the plug with his wife, and he got this, I call it the gangster or not the gangster, I should say the 50 podcast. Now, we know a couple weeks ago there was a RICO on a whole bunch of Rolling 60s and people who've been associated with that show, No Jumper, right? Brick Baby and Loose Cannon been on that show, and a whole bunch of people. All these guys have these different names, right? For extra 600, I'm hearing a whole bunch of people in this mix up talking about this RICO with Big U. Now, recent news has came out that Big U is facing over 600 years. 600 years, basically life. And I don't know what the other individuals will face, but he's serving 600 years. Now, recently, I'm guessing Brick Baby, I shouldn't say guess, but this is out there in the universe that Brick Baby been asking for some money, basically to help him from Adam 22's No Jumper podcast. Adam 22, supposedly that should be his boy. Now, he done a recent post, or not a post, he went on his platform, his YouTube, and mentioned, he was talking about it. And basically he's saying like, he was dissing Brick Baby, saying he ain't helping anybody who's locked up. Why does he have to help anybody who's locked up in prison for something like, the RICO? To me, he's making jokes of the whole situation, and he's benefiting off of the situation because a lot of those individuals been on his show. Now, like I mentioned, they've been on his show, and that's the Hip Hop Police, right? The Hip Hop Police. That is Adam 22. Let me just fix this a little bit. That's Adam 22. The Hip Hop Police. His show is the main source a lot of these investigators been watching. They've been watching his platform, hearing the individuals talk, making it easy for them to make a case. And they did actually approach Adam 22 about a past episode where, you know, things was mentioned. Things was mentioned regarding Nipsey, I'm guessing. I shouldn't say I'm guessing, but yeah. So, saying Adam 22's Hip Hop Police is on point. But what I don't understand is after that big situation has happened, have anyone not learned? Like the individuals who go on his platform and talk, have they not learned from like what that the Fed's been watching the platform, and that they use that some of that to lock these brothers up? Have they not understand that? A lot of people, Whack 100, a lot of people call him the Fed. That he works with, he cooperates with law enforcement. A recent document, I don't know if it's true, came out claiming that what's it called again? Whack 100 was threatened by Big U right? And he had a statement, some type of statement. I don't know if that's true. I'm not a private investigator. I'm not an investigator. I'm just telling people what I hear out there. I'm not trying to solve a case. I'm not a lawyer or anything like that. I'm just putting out the tea, what's out there. So Whack 100 is a rat. That's how a lot of people are calling him. 600, this guy, new character. There, people are calling him a rat, right? Uh, all types of things is coming out right now, and it's concentrated on Adam 22's platform. No jumper. Now, since this indictment, he's done a lot of things claiming that No Jumper's broke, which is probably a joke, claiming how he wants to sell his facility because it's costing him too much. I seen that interview with Vlad, right? When you really look at him, he looks guilty, and he's celebrating after. To me, it's like he's celebrating after these guys got locked. Like, yeah, you know how this is gonna help our ratings, our views, or whatever. Like, yeah, and then the reason I'm saying this because after he says, yeah, I need some new Crips. Like, I don't know, probably a joke, but he's talking about how he needs some new people to replace the old. Is that good? The man is saying that he needs new people to replace the old, new Crips. So I don't know if it's a rumor or a fact that the Crip who he has on his platform, right? I think his name is 4Extra. I'm getting it correct now. 4Extra. He's a rolling 40 or a 40 Crip. So he's from another set. And he's very colorful, very active. He was one of the individuals who got locked up too, but he came out, and Whack 100 and somebody else on No Jumper was talking about. I think it was Whack 100 and Adam 22, talking about something like Hood Day. I guess it's some type of thing, a celebration when someone comes out of prison or they get free, something like that. And Wack mentioned that if he goes to that, the feds or the police, they're gonna come for him and lock him back up. And guess what? He got locked up. He got locked up. To me, this platform is spotlighting the gang culture in Los Angeles or California. That's what it's doing. It's spotlighting it, and all the major figures are people who represent these gangs. Some of them are been on this platform or they want to go on this platform. I don't know why they would really want. I don't know if it has changed, but they've been on the platform or associated in some type of way. And let's be straight up. When you have a Rico connected to your platform, and even before I knew this, that means they've been watching for a long time, eating popcorn. They've been watching the platform, and they've been analyzing everybody who talks on that platform. Now, they got Big U, the big guy, right? Rolled in 60 Crip over 30 years. They claim he was running a organization like mafia type. But like I said, he had the check-in that was linked to him. And I swear he had a show called The Check-in, like a podcast, right? So if you're a gangster, and people should learn from this. If you're a real gangster, like if you want to stay under the radar, you can't be in the public eye too much, especially in the social media age. You cannot be. Look at John Gotti. When John Gotti brought the mafia to the, I would say, social media, right? The media more, that brought attention. And that's what brought him down. brought attention, and that's what brought him down. Remember, the feds, they don't like people kind of like, making fun of them or thinking that they're untouchable because they got a boss too. And it will seem like they're not doing their job, right? That's why they really, really, really wait and make sure that they have an airtight case before they take people in. This is the federal government, FBI. They don't want to be embarrassed, so they make sure they cross their I's or their T's before they make that move. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. They make sure they have an airtight case. So I said it yesterday, man. Guilty by association, but not Adam 22. Remember, Adam 22 started off as a bicycle or he started off as somebody doing something else. I'm saying bicycle, but sport bikes or something like that. He was a well known one and he was very successful in it. He got his wealth starting off not doing podcasts, right? He started off as, I guess, extreme athlete doing riding bikes. And then he had his own store, right, with his brand, and he got big off of that. And then he had a blog, right, which later on transformed into No Jumper. And then he got popular even more, right? I don't know if Brothers was chilling around Adam 22 when he was riding bikes, but when he got this platform popping, start getting some popular rappers on his platform, right? Then that's what brought the attention even more, getting a couple, one or two popular rappers. But now the people are on his platform. Majority of the time, I can't say every like week after week after week. There's no stars coming on there. I could confidently say that week after week after week, there is no stars coming on No Jumper. Even West Coast legend stars, not too much. Like there might be one or two, but there are people who are not even relevant or that big. You get what I'm saying? Like he's in the West Coast, and I haven't seen the majority of West Coast hip hop artists, even the underground ones, on his platform. It's a small few, right? And most of the ones who came on his platform, they're into that gang shit. So it's like he knows what pushes the algorithm. Everybody knows negativity. A lot of people love that ish, the negativity. So Adam 22, that's how he's selling. Hip hop police, we're quick, right? This is the funny thing I'm gonna put out there. And he could be. I'm not saying he ain't. He can't be. We're quick as a people, I'm talking black people, to spotlight our own. You see what's going on in the media all the time. Whack 100, he's a rat. He's a fed. I'm not defending Whack, right? But I'm just putting it out there clear. All the brothers are feds. But the man who amplifies a platform, who, when my opinion, and I see it, who makes fun of the situations, who kind of puts fire to the gas, right? Um, no one is calling him. Besides, maybe there might be. There is people who have called him, but not enough. Calling Adam 22 a fed. And, people are calling in his platform, and no one's thinking this white guy is a fed. Which, sorry to say, stereotypically, he would represent that. And look, like no one is ripping on Adam 22 that he's a fed or hip hop police, but I am. I'm telling people that. So when it does come more clarified, don't forget I told you so. Right? So you're quick to go on all people are quick to go on all the brother them, right? And it's like that in society. Quick to hit all the brother them, but not talk about, I'm straight up gonna say, the white boy who has the platform, the man who has all the money. He's paying these guys like peanuts, right? It's like a plantation to be on his show. He's paying them peanuts. It's like a platform. Sharp was smart. Sharp was too smart for the show. That's why he left. They're claiming he got fired, but he's doing good on his platform. Trust me, he's doing good with his platform right now, right? So I don't know. Everybody's quick to criticize the brothers who goes that went on that platform, right? Co-host, but they ain't criticizing the person who controls the platform and seems to me the most out of all the Fed. He asks a lot of questions, Fed questions, Adam 22. A lot of questions, right? And then you got Whack, them both, they ask a lot of questions. They know, well, especially Whack, he has a lot of news. He always has the news. People will question you. This is for Whack, like it or not. People are gonna question if you are a Fed because the amount of information you are getting and providing seems like that. Some people, even if they have the information, right? They're not gonna speak about it. They might know about it, speak amongst themselves about it, but they're not gonna put that out there because when you put that out there, that is playing with someone's life, number one, and then you're playing around with the law. So you're playing with fire. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, is Adam 22's No Jumper show supposed to be a police investigation podcast? Is that what it is? Is it an investigation? Is it a urban investigation podcast? Because it seems like everybody who goes on, I mean, whenever Whack is on, he's talking about someone's situation. They're not talking about the latest music. They're not even talking about music controversy with, like, the Drake and the Kendrick Lamar situation. They're not talking about music business. Um, they're not talking about world issues. The main thing they're talking about is these unknowns, right? I'm gonna straight up saying all these people I'm hearing, they're unknowns. What do they do? That's my question, right? Like I said, I mentioned that about Wack. I know Wack's a manager, right? But what do all these people do? The only way the public knows about them or I know about them is through um what's his name, Adam 22's platform. Before that, I would not know nothing about these individuals. All these individuals are nobodies. Like 600. This guy I keep hearing about. Who the hell is 600? Just pops out of anywhere. That sounds like some undie, I call them. Who's 600? And like, it's like Adam knew things were coming because this 4 Extra guy, he's a big character on the show. Even I think before the indictment, it's like he knows, and then he's slowly trying to recruit other characters. I seen the guy Snoopy Badass, the guy who was talking about Drake is cool in LA. He could come back down. He could come down there. Yeah, him too. He's now on there. Before he's been around for a while. I'm hearing. Why now he's on the show? It's like you wait for the others to go to put some others on the show. So this No Jumper, I'm saying hip hop police. Yeah, it is hip hop police because real hip hop people are never going on this show. Take that in. Real people from the culture that do hip hop, they are never, I could put money on that. They're never gonna be on Adam 22's No Jumper show. Anyone who's a real hip hop person, I guarantee the community is talking about that platform. They'll never go on that show. They might give Vlad a little, they might go on Vlad, maybe. But this situation is painting, I'm going to be straight up. White content makers who want to cover the culture look bad. No one who's an established hip hop artist is going on that show because they're saying the same thing. It's hip hop police. I'm surprised he didn't get Charleston White on that show yet. But Charleston White knows Adam has money. He wants some dollars. I haven't seen Charleston White on that show yet. Right? Like I'm saying, what is the purpose of No Jumper? Anybody, I'm straight up, no disrespect, but anybody with intelligence will see that's not a platform to talk your business. It's not a platform to talk about any case, anything, because every time someone talks right now, it is marked on that platform. Let me tell you guys. Anytime someone speaks on that show, No Jumper, it's marked. It's marked meaning the FBI is watching. Every time they go live, the FBI is watching. Anybody who calls in, the FBI is watching. You don't know who else is watching. Police, judges, lawyers, they're just watching. Right? So, when they take you in, the FBI, and you get incarcerated by the FBI, right? Um, it's really hard to flip that case. And it takes a lot of money to get out of the situation. Look, two big rappers, Little Dirk, Young Thug. Young Thug came off after a good while. It took a while for, and he's not fully off. He's on like 30 years probation. Any little thing he does, he's right back in, and he won't even see a day of no light. So in a way, he's in a invisible prison, right? And then you got Little Dirk. Same thing, a little different situation, but Rico, they put on him because of organization. The organization they claim that he's part of or running. So these two, Young Thug, right? I have to mention them because they're in hip hop or rap, and they got incarcerated, or one is still incarcerated. Um, they're rich, they're millionaires, right? Very popular. And right now, Young Thug Kent is still fighting for his case. It's been a couple months. He's still fighting, and it doesn't look like he has a chance to come out. I don't even know what evidence they have on him. What evidence do they have on Young Thug? But Lil Durk, right? So if Little Durk ain't coming out, if Young Thug they made it hard for him, and still hard for him, what man, it's good to have faith, but good luck to anybody who's incarcerated under that RICO, because it's really hard to get off of that. It's historical to get off of that. Historical, right? Really historical. So the only case people could put out there is that they are targeting successful black men, right? But Adam 22's platform does not help, man. Does not help. Everybody, like I said, been mentioning that he's fed for a long time. So why don't these brothers see that? Why don't they see that? There's something wrong. Like there's something wrong. There's something really wrong that you are adult and you don't see it clear that that platform is police. I don't know how everybody is raised, but I had a pops, a father, or I have one, who taught me common sense. And he taught me common sense, real good sense, to know that something like No Jumper, right, is a police platform. It's FBI. It's not the internet. Period. The internet period is being watched right now constantly. That's why they shadow ban like my platform probably, and they allow the people who are talking, right? Because I tested the people who talk a lot of business, certain type of stories. They will give them a lot of views. They won't even block them because they want to see people who are talking. People don't know this. So you look like you have a good algorithm. They want to see who's talking so they could gather more evidence, right? So that will go big. But if you're talking about truth, real truth, like how I'm talking, I'm not investigating. I'm just putting out what's already been in the public and putting the pieces to the puzzle. They will shadow ban that. Really look on it. Okay, for example, I done a story, a pod about some local rappers, beef, right? Local rappers. And I always said there's hip hop police in Toronto. That is doing pretty good right now. That one is doing pretty good. But if I talk about the government, talk about stuff like this, right? It will probably won't might do good or not because I'm telling you the truth. And I was telling you the truth about in the other episode with the beef with Bundog and Top 5. I was telling you the truth about that, but because it's local and those guys are amplified and stuff like that, and people want to hear about that shit because that could start some real stuff which will involve law enforcement, those things will go viral because you're talking about a real situation that could grow and involve law enforcement. So anything involving the feds, police, and characters is going to be very big, especially locally if you're from the city, right? So, for example, if I'm from the West Coast in LA or somewhere in the West Coast, and I'm talking about this same thing when I'm talking about the hip hop police, talking about No Jumper, talking about Adam 22, it's gonna get a lot of views because the police or whoever the powers that be are making that go out the algorithm so everybody can hear what's going on. So and that helps the feds. You guys have to look on it. Look on your rights. Look on Instagram, right? Just really look on it when you post stuff and it goes against their guidelines. What does it say? The the federal laws. For example, cannabis, you cannot promote that on Instagram because of their laws in America, federal laws. So that means it's controlled by the federal government in some way, the regulations of communication. Same thing with the YouTube, right? So when you're talking about certain situations and the algorithm goes up and you're seeing all these views and stuff like that, it's because you're talking about police shit, right? Police shit. That's why you're getting a lot of views. But when you're talking about what they call quote unquote conspiracy stuff, stuff what's exposing, you can get the views. But a lot of times they shadow ban that stuff, especially political stuff, talking about politicians and talking about real life stuff, things what really can affect you. But Adam 22, that's why he knows the algorithm. He's talking about street gangster ish, right? Street gangster ish, and putting characters from the streets on. So, what are you doing? The people who go on the platform, they should be more smart, right? But that is a setup, like they say, a play. Yeah, let me get this guy, be so and so on my platform. Let's see what he will say. Oh, he has beef with this so and so over here. You know what? When he comes on, he will say something, and the guy who's his ops will say something, and that will help me get more ratings, man. So he knows what he's doing. He's not going to look for any type of hip hop artist to say, yo, could you come on my platform? Yo, you have a new project out. It will be great for my platform. I really like your music. I'm a fan of your music. Let me interview you. The most he'll do is interview another content maker that talks a lot of shit, like him, like academics, maybe Vlad, right? And of course he has whack. That's the most he'll do, but he's not bringing, or he can't not get no one serious to go on his platform who's an artist, and this is supposed to be a hip hop platform. The most he'll talk about is the downfall of artists, their case. That's what's spicy. That they got locked up, or they're going to. You get what I mean? Like something what's negative. It's not nothing positive he's talking about. So when our platform right now is to inform people and educate people, edutainment. I know a lot of people don't like to be educated. It's like vegetables and fast food. People love the fast food, right? It's just to inform. A lot of the times we do have our fun, but most of the time it's to inform. I'm not a lawyer, not an investigator. I'm I don't like to concentrate on one subject, right? Because if I was to talk about people, especially who do illegal shit or are associated with illegal shit all the time, that would not help me in the long term, right? It wouldn't help us in the long term. I like to cover people who are doing things. Yes, there's stories. I talk about all different types of stuff, some positive, some negative, but it's always something to educate you. And Adam 22 is the hip hop police, and there's more of them. There's other guys who are doing similar stuff. They got Jake, well, I think he's what, Jake 100, I don't know, Jake 1000 or whatever his name is, right? That man makes a platform based off of locking people up or getting them in trouble, right? Coincidence, he's white. But and then there's Charleston White, but he just goes everywhere. He goes on other people's platforms, but he does have some real points sometimes too. But yeah, like what is the purpose of No Jumper? What is the purpose? Right? What's the purpose? I don't know. It's entertaining to people. I'm wondering if I'm not gonna say it's scripted because it doesn't seem like that, but you should put out a disclaimer up when you're talking about people's business, right? People's cases. And I said this before. You have a big ass platform, Adam, and some of you others who are talking about these cases. Don't put not putting up no disclaimer, but you're just talking. I'm giving you a gem. Put up a disclaimer. It'll help your platform in the long run. It'll help your platform in the long run, especially in the social media age where it's so sensitive, where they could just, like I said, shadow ban your channel, take it down. Someone could complain that someone could complain and target your platform. So, yo, people, and I'm gonna remind you to subscribe. We're not just on YouTube. We're on all podcast platforms where you can listen to us. We even have a Rumble and a Twitch. We're everywhere. Down to Earth Network, Down to Earth Podcasts. But yeah, Adam 22 is the hip hop police. I'm gonna say it straight up. I don't have no relationship with him. I don't care. I'm not trying to have a relationship with him in any type of way. So I don't give a shit. And I've been saying, I would have said this earlier. Adam 22's No Jumper show is hip hop police. You go on there, you put yourself at risk of being investigated. That's why they had locked up the brother them, because of that man's platform. That's part of it. And there's a history with Big U doing a lot of stuff, extorting in LA and doing a whole bunch of things, right? He even warned people. I swear he was on No Jumper. I swear he was on that platform. So, people, you decide. You could watch that man's thing. It's entertaining sometimes, but I will watch a little bit and then just basically go watch something else. You know why? Because what is entertaining on there? Who's on there? There's nobody. When he says he has guests, they're nobodies most of the time. Most of the time, it's nobodies. Who does he have on there? I'm just wondering, like, who does he have on there to bring you there? He has a podcast where he has guests. It's not like him talking by himself, right? He has people on there, and they're just people who are from the street celebrities. I'm guessing that's what it is. Street celebrities, and these street celebrities, they have records. I'm talking about criminal records. So as long as, and this is it's fact, because I know some people who do certain type, things, and most real guys don't go on social media. They don't even have social media. Most real guys who are doing things, they don't want no social media, nothing. They want to be a ghost to continue their business. So all this talking, what I'm seeing, is whack. I'm talking it's basically whack. Not whack 100, it's whack. If you are from the streets, you should not, and you are claiming you're a gangster, you shouldn't even be talking about nothing. You shouldn't be talking about your enemies. You shouldn't be talking about what you've done. You shouldn't be talking about nothing. Because once you talk and you already have a record, remember, you're in the system already, the criminal, whatever institutional system. You don't think that they're watching you, especially if you are on parole, that you don't have your parole officer knowing that you're a celebrity on YouTube, watching everything what you say, what you do. You all have background records. You're supposed to be gangsta. And you think that they're not watching what you're saying, what you're doing? I've been saying this for years. Anybody who thinks not, good luck to you. You don't have no sense. And like I'm saying, the FBI most of the time has an airtight case. They don't want to be embarrassed. Like I'm hearing, Big U might get 600 years, and they're not even telling you all the charges. 600 years, right? Are they counting from way back? Because he was associated with the Crips over 30 years. Remember, people, it doesn't even have to be now. They'll get you for stuff 20 years ago. Look how they do, like Bill Cosby and some of these other guys. They're going back 15 years for sexual assaults to prosecute them and lock them up. So no different if you were a gangster on the street and you were doing a lot of stuff on the street. They're gonna come for you. It could have been 30 years ago. It could have been 20 years ago. They're saying 600 years to Big U for what? Just one thing or two things? How much things? 600 years is like you done a lot. So we don't know what else they're looking back at. Trust me, they're looking. So all the other guys who go on Adam 22 show, No Jumper, is the same thing. They're looking back at all this other stuff. I'm hearing recordings of Brick Baby threatening his baby mother. They have recordings like that all over social media. That's not helping you, man. Recordings? And how do people know what's going on in the prison? I know people, but how do people know what's going on in the prison? That news, right? Let me tell you something what happened in Toronto to a famous blog. What was doing does a lot of stuff similar like Adam 22. I probably could call them I call them the hip hop police too. You know what happened? When somebody recorded, right, some type of evidence to a case, the actual court, they went in and they recorded and put it on social media. That platform, they went for them and they investigated, went for them and locked them up. They got locked up. Let me repeat, they got locked up for spilling evidence to social media from the court. And that's just in Toronto. They went for the person who spilled court, right? Live court recordings out on social media. They took that serious, and that's up here. So, you think, what do you think is going to happen in America? If they done that up here, went for guys who have a platform talking about court cases and put it on social media recording, and they lock them up, what do you think they're going to do to somebody in America who does that? And their laws are more strict. So Brick Baby's recording was on there threatening his girlfriend. They got that. Man, that don't look good. That doesn't look good. Anyone, I don't know all the laws in America, but if you have people talking about a case and they actually allow this from, like, how does these prison stories leak out to the public? Like, Puffy's locked up. You hear one or two things, but you hardly hear what's going on every day with him. So you got to question this, and it doesn't look good. The hip hop police is real strong. They've been around, like I said, for almost 30 years. Yes, about that time. They've been around. A lot of people been talking about them, hip hop artists, especially from New York. They know that. So it's like people lost knowledge over years. And they think because it's the internet, it's all free. No, people, it's not. It's not. And Adam 22 is not doing you guys justice by he's allowing you guys, or you guys are spilling the tea to him, right? By talking about confrontations and all that on a big platform like that will get you in trouble. Straight up. It's like me going on, I have a criminal record. I have a background. I go on his show. He knows about certain situations. He asks me certain questions, and I've got away with certain things I've done. But by asking me again, amplifies those situations for for the cops to use it. They could use these things. That's what they're using. They're going to use these things as evidence. And that's what they're doing. It's very easy. Like I'm saying, if you're a real G don't go on social media. Remember, Adam's a civilian. He has no loyalty to none of this gang shit. He's a civilian, as people are saying. So he could say anything he wants. Adam is a civilian. You hear? And when you see him talk, he doesn't care. When you see Adam talk, he doesn't give a damn. And the recent beef with him and Brick Baby, what's Brick Baby gonna do? You're in prison. That's why he's thinking. You're locked up. What's Brick Baby gonna do? You're locked up. You can't do nothing. Are you gonna call and threaten him from prison? Oh God, they record everything when you're talking. You can't threaten Adam. Like I'm saying, Adam had the FBI visit his house, and he claimed they wanted some content from his show. You know what else Adam was talking about with the FBI? Do you know? No, you don't. And he's going to save his own ass. Adam 22 is going to save his own ass. He was talking to the feds and he only let you know what he wants you to know. He's not going to tell you if he told them anything else. He's going to tell you something else. But you brothers still trust to go on this man's platform. That's one reason I don't really like. I put it maybe in a short. I could do it. I could do the same thing like I see many have done. That's one reason I don't want to put even his audio or even his videos on my platform like I see many are doing. Because, well, it wouldn't really even affect me really as much. But someone, especially from America, and you're from the West Coast, and you put Adam 22 shit on your platform, it's kind of marked kind of now. Because especially if you know a lot of people associated with that man too, it makes it even more worse because they're going to use your platform to investigate things, right? I heard it myself from down here of some individual telling me the same about other platforms, that someone came to this individual and told them that they have watched those platforms to investigate, to find out things. So if they do that down in the six, imagine what they're doing in the West Coast with Adam 22's platform. No Jumper is amplified and spotlighted, right? It's spotlighted a lot. Who's next? That's what I'm going to say. Who's next? People are thinking Whack 100 is next, but if Whack's with the feds, if he's with the feds, is he going to be next? So far, he's not locked up. So I'm going to be straight up, man. And I heard it. When you don't get locked up and you doing all this dirt and you're talking all this shit, right? It's either you're the smartest one out of a lot of them or you are really with the feds. But straight up, like, he might like the dirt. Some people don't like that, but that's actually smart to cover his ass, is to be with the law enforcement if you're talking all that shit. That's the only way you're going to be confident, if you're talking all that stuff, that you have some backing. Who's your backing? Is it a gang? What's backing him? Or is it the law enforcement to be that brave? Because people will unalive a person for talking a lot of people's business. They will unalive, what, that's a new word they're using. They will unalive someone for talking a lot of business. And Wack talks a lot of people's business. So Wack is very confident going on No Jumper and speaking and not scared of nobody. What you're saying, brother? I didn't see that. Wack is very confident of going on a platform and not being afraid to talk. So to me, you're either with the feds, right, or you have some real muscle in back of you. And people are claiming he has muscle, but does he want to wind up like Big U? I don't know. I don't know if he wants to wind up like Big U. I think he had beef with Big U from a long time, so he doesn't mind him being away. Look, Suge's away. Who's the boogeyman? I heard people talking about the boogeyman, right? Who's the boogeyman? Suge's locked. Big U's locked. Like they said, someone who will replace these individuals, and they have replaced. You got Whack 100 right now. So he's on No Jumper. Adam 22 is confident when he talks because he has muscle. He has bodyguards. He got money. So he's that confident to talk because he got bodyguards and he got money, right? So he don't, and probably maybe the feds is protecting him. Let's be straight up. They're protecting him probably. No one could touch, think of it now. You got to look on it. Common sense. No one could touch Whack. No one could touch Adam 22, especially right now. So, what is their play really? Because if you know, which they do know, the feds is watching the platform. Only a dummy, I'm going to say this right now, I'm going to be straight up. They're being watched, both of these guys, on this platform. If anything happens to Whack, anything happens to Adam 22, why? They're going to dig even more deep. They right now they're not stopping, but it won't. Basically, once you have guys like Adam 22 and Whack on a platform, anybody who's on a platform, it's more hard to do certain things to them because now they have more, like they have evidence already. The feds, why, who were they talking about recently? They're gonna go to the people who's been talking about them the most, or anybody who has threatened them. They're going to go do an investigation on them all. Anybody who's threatened them or talked about them a certain type of way, they're going for them, especially local. So Whack could walk around real comfortable because unless the person who attack, if they were to attack him, is not that intelligent. Because if you are wise and you know that Whack is on social media, that's not someone you really want to play with. Same thing with Adam, especially Adam 22. That's someone you don't want to play with. Straight up, he's a white boy. You play with that man, oh, so the whole FBI force or whatever, they're coming for you. And that's why Whack aligns himself with Adam 22. You got to look on it. I'm hearing Adam's Jewish. Whack knows what he's doing, right? So, people, be wise. This was an episode from the Down to Earth Network, Down to Earth podcast from your host, Sean Myrie. You could donate in the link to the PayPal link for to support the platform. But I'll be back. Bless up.